I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse,
All right, this
I'm
is
ready
Banter
for war.
for the people. We are doing a 37-day series. It's my 37th birthday coming up, May 29th. And going into that, got to restart. Going into this, the last 37 days before my 37th birthday, I'm going to do 37 podcasts in 37 days. Lots of 37s. Favorite number. And the real intention behind it is, one, talk to people that have changed my life over the last 37 years. Talk to people that have influenced me. And then also just like try to have conversations with different individuals that I just think are like interesting and fun and all these things. Trying to grow Purple Banter's brand through this kind of experience. Want to get to 10,000 followers by the end of May on Instagram.
We're close.
We got a lot of different goals in it. You don't have to know all of them, but that's kind of like what this is about. It's re-establishing who we are, what we want to talk about. Because first guest is going to be Katia Dragotis, the heart and soul of our team at Purple Banter. The only way that we're actually a real business, or else we would just be, I don't know. We wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't even be a real thing. And so, I've always appreciated you for holding it down, keeping us into a place of like reality. But then also, we've fought through a lot of fires in the last 2.5 years. We've gone from a hobby project with Vikings Weekly.
Yep. Which is now Vikings Banter.
Which is Vikings Banter now. And we're really, over the next kind of 2 months, you're really going to see how that is going to step away from being a hobby, which it still has been to this point.
Yeah.
And really bridging that next gap. And a lot of Purple Banter is going to take this next new step, where we're really going to like own ourselves, build a brand that we've desired. We've played in the sandbox long enough. And I think that it's been a really good time period for us to like stay in the sandbox to figure out who we want. But probably at least maybe 9 months late to really like stepping up and taking ownership of what we want this brand to become. We've done a lot of production. We've
had a couple breaking points where we're like, this doesn't feel like authentic or real or fun in this moment. And this is probably the biggest one though. That's really like shifting us back to like the North Star, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. And one, I have to say that I've loved every single person that we've worked with.
For sure.
We've launched 20 podcasts in the last year. Only 4 have really stuck.
4? What's left? Vikings?
Well, that's the kind of scary part because it's Vikings, it's the podcast,
yep,
it's Marco, and then it's Banter for the People.
Okay.
And then Dan Dunn.
Yeah, but we didn't launch that.
Yeah, so
is that it?
Really in its truest perspective right now it is.
Sure. Okay.
Depending on like, this is going to go out Tuesday. Like we could get fired from any of these shows at any moment. We've had
lessons in contract. We've had lessons in business. We've had lessons in like boundaries. I think that's the other thing that's like brought us to this point is like, I think we're pretty like low key people. And we also see the best in people's, which makes us just kind of like cool chameleons on the wall. But that also doesn't mean that like people can't take from you in a certain sense. And so we're now like establishing boundaries and establishing like, okay, this is who we are as a company, this is who we are as people, and this is also who we are like personally too, like have some personal life shit.
And anything I think that has gone a way that we didn't desire, it's because our lack of being transparent of what we really needed from something and allowing it to go into a direction that I feel like maybe our involvement could allow it to go, hopefully be a little bit stickier and a little bit better. But, we're building this brand that its community is not only just the audience, our clients are not only just the audience, but we also have clients in like our hosts.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and each show has their own demographics, their own style, their own voice. And that's what we desire as a brand. We want that nicheness in every community that we are trying to impact. But it's a heavy lift though.
On which side?
It's a heavy lift in changing a lot of mindsets of different people that we work with. We split brains like a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of different personalities. I am grateful for all those personalities. But when you feel it within the sphere of things, especially when we've launched like 20 different shows, you get to a certain level of like personalness and friendship.
For sure.
And none of those relationships by going bad, nothing, like it's not that friendships have gone bad. The shows either haven't found the success that they needed, either hosts didn't even want to launch the show actually.
Yeah.
You know, they started, but then they're like, this isn't really actually for me. And each time that we do that, there's a huge level of not only time and money spent to be able to build that, but more importantly, I think there's an emotional level.
100%.
Because it's kind of a breakup every single time, too.
It's totally a breakup. And at the same time, I think what some people don't realize, and that like we vocalize to ourselves, but try to keep that within ourselves, is that, well, if we have 6 or 7 shows going all at once, all of those people are coming at us with all of their problems, which is what we want. But sometimes it's like extremely emotionally taxing. And then if and when these go away, it is like a breakup. It is like something you mourn. It's something that like you have to process in your own way. It's interesting. Yeah. And it's like mini businesses like not failing or going away.
I mean, I would call them failed if they didn't like launch or they didn't finish.
Yeah.
And I think the toughest part for us within that is, and where we get to a spot of holding a little bit of resentment almost towards our own way that we've treated our own business, is that we're in this for the long haul.
Right.
And so while we've seen 16 people start and stop, when we continue to be like, well, we don't want to start and stop.
Yes.
So we have to take more ownership in our own show.
Yeah.
Because that show's not stopping. Mm-hmm. It might be inconsistent, but it's never stopping.
Right.
And it's so difficult to put so much time and energy into other people's goals and visions when you don't realize like, they're willing to quit at any time.
Yeah.
And that's
like, we can't quit.
Exhausting because we can't do it because we're attached to a dream.
Right.
We can't do it because I don't think, you're hireable. I'm not hireable.
I don't even know if I don't know what my resume would look like. You know what I mean? If I sat down right now, I mean, I do know what it would look like, but I don't know that I could go to LinkedIn and like type in.
But you could easily be one. You could be a showrunner on any major production.
Yeah,
you could be a producer.
I don't know. Yeah.
You could be a marketing manager.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Like you have a lot of like very structural and placeable talents, because every single time that we do run a show, you find yourself like in the middle,
which I like.
Yeah. You place yourself there. Whether it's through work ethic, which is certainly that, whether it's through your ability to like just detail and accomplish tasks, you like everything to kind of run through your like vision of that, even though you incorporate all these different visions. And then I think also ego-wise, you're like, I'm going to hold this thing down for people, because you also will work harder than everybody else too. So it's important for the hardest worker to kind of like hold the reins.
That's the whole, in my mind, the whole point of running your own thing is because I know myself and like I want to see myself in my work. And so if I don't have ownership of that work, it like actually doesn't compute to me. I'm like, why the fuck would I be working so hard for somebody else's company? Like,
and we've done that a lot.
We've done it a lot, yes. But in the theory, it's like, okay, but in general, it's Purple Banter. And that's where we're at this like point that we like you said, we're reinvesting, we're figuring this out, we're rebranding, that like we're not just a production company, we're not the person that like just sets up the cameras and see you later. Like people need to see us and what we're doing as an entity in itself.
Yeah.
And not just something that you can, not that like take away from anyone that does production work. It's just like we want something a little more.
Mm-hmm. So getting more into this of being like more of a personal dive into the people that we're talking to in these 37 episodes. Why is it that you have such a drive to work for, like, what is like your truest through line? As odd as it is, in the last 2.5 years that we've worked through, we really haven't had like this type of conversation where it's like, what is like your through line of that? You're like, this is what I want Katia to go down as.
Yeah.
I used to talk about it with Kamal as like, what do you want on your gravestone?
Right.
As crazy as a
What
thought
did you say?
of that.
When you would answer that question, or what would Kamal say? Like, I don't even know how I would answer that.
I mean, Kamal's would be,
serial entrepreneur,
the CEO
of
like
life.
I think he's truly the most creative, self-driven, and actually takes things to the finish line.
Right.
It, more importantly, even gets things to the starting line, because finish line is not always in your control.
And
but
subjective.
starting line's harder than finish line,
Yeah.
I think, because most people think
seen it
he
with
starts
a
more
million
things than
shows.
anybody, and then also gets people around him to bleed for that thing in a way, not like in a negative sense, but like he gets people personally invested in projects.
Yeah.
And for me, I hope that like my gravestone would be he inspired, impacted, and brought light to the people he encountered.
Okay.
And now, one of the things that I was even thinking about driving, we just went to like this branding strategy meeting for Purple Banter because like we're like, one, people don't respect us, and then two, we don't deserve respect yet in a weird way too.
No, that's not
To
true.
the people we've interacted with, we do. But
Yeah.
from an outside perspective, if it's
no.
your first glance,
If you
we
look
don't
at our
deserve
Instagram, I'm
respect
like,
yet.
don't look at it.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that I want Purple Banter to be a place where we help voices be impactful as possible.
Okay.
So whatever your voice is, we want to be as impactful as possible. And so for me, what my desire is for myself within my own brand identity, within my own ethos, within the people I interact with, and I guess, within what I need to do as a work thing every day is I'm working to have my voice be as impactful as it's supposed to be.
Okay.
It's a big God thing for me.
Okay.
But I'm like, God, what am I supposed to do? You put some really big dreams in my heart, but like, where's my voice supposed to be? And how can I make it as impactful as possible, or as impactful as you desire for it to be? If it's 25 views on a Vikings Banter episode for the next 30 years, dear God, I pray that's not it.
And you give me the lotto. Like,
I
if that's
pray
it, like,
that's not
my
it.
God.
My child will love me but not respect me. My wife would appreciate me but not stay in the same household as me. All these different things.
I don't know if mine is honestly that powerful or that impactful. For me, it's always been, I don't like working for other people. Like, I don't like working for other people. I like my hands in 1,000 different projects, and I like creating things. And I've always, and maybe this is like something that I have in my own head, that you can't create things when you're not like fully in it. But that's how I perceive it. And I've worked on a ton of different projects. I've created shows. I've failed at shows. I've almost sold shows. I've worked on other startups, failed at other startups, everything under the sun. And like, the consistency is continuing to like swing the bat, if you will. Like, continue to try to hit it off. So let's fucking
because like I do live with this kind of thought in my head sometimes where if I had an ego about anything, it's not my work ethic, because my work ethic is variable. When I care, I'm great. When I don't care anymore,
it's over.
I just like won't even answer a text. I just won't even, I'm just out.
You're just done.
And it's not
Is that how you did with breakups too? You're just like, can walk away.
Well, I've never pursued somebody that I didn't like feel like I like approached for the right reason. So breakups would generally hurt me quite a bit because I believed in a through line.
Right.
You're like probably maybe the worst person I've ever seen at breakups.
I'm terrible.
Because, and I mean breakups in business.
Oh yeah.
Because you
I invest
refuse
myself.
to let go.
I invest. I'm so invested.
You refuse, and that's where we're totally different.
Yeah,
you are like,
yeah.
we put this time in.
Yep.
Why would we ever let it go?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're like, I'm good.
I'm like, I was done. I just don't want to tell anybody yet.
Yeah.
And
No,
that is, we couldn't be
so
more
bad.
opposite than
I'm
that.
so bad.
You will text someone 12 times and be like, where the fuck are we? Why are we not
Scotty,
doing
I
this? How is it
fucking
not
see
done?
you.
And I'm like, Katia, it's over. It's a breakup.
I cannot handle it.
Yeah.
I cannot handle it.
Which is a good balance to have because
man.
it hasn't, I can't say your strategy's worked yet.
It has not.
But
I'm blocked on
But then my
someone's
strategy, but
Instagram and-
you've kept things alive. That's the weird part. So you've kept a lot of things alive for like 6 months that I already was like, this thing's dead.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. It's always been a fun
Yeah.
journey because we find another carrot that we chase and blah, blah, blah.
But that's what I like. The creation aspect about Purple Banter, that's what I like, is the fact that I see so many arms coming off of this main core. And to me, that's so exciting. And to be able to be like, okay, this could spew off of a Purple Banter, whatever. And no, I'm not going to work on that project every day or even be involved. But maybe I'm on a call once a month that we like touch base on it and I can go to this thing. That's really fucking dope to me.
Yeah. Because it's true dramatic to say it this way, but this is the only word I can think right now. But I'm truly like heartbroken by all the voices that we haven't been able to launch. Because I have believed wholeheartedly
in every
that like
single
the
one.
world needed this voice.
And that's why I get so attached, is because I have truly believed in every single show that we have ever worked on in the last 2 years. And so it's like, it's a breakup. It's sad. It's like really fucking sad.
Yeah.
And you also spend a lot of time with these people. So you really get to know them as a person. You're like, that's fine. Like, we'll still have a relationship. I'll see you around and say, hey, have a drink or whatever. But it's not the same.
So what do you want? Like, let's say Purple Banter lives for 20 years.
Yeah.
What do you want it to be remembered by?
An entity. Like a voice, like a strong, stable brand that has launched many other things within itself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Does
I do.
That makes sense.
100%. Like, I want it to be seen as individuals that were their truest self, that also bring like weird products to the world and honestly
That's
like odd little niches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the largest losses in my career so far would probably be the failure of Bounce Back Beer.
I know, it sucks.
Because
I love it.
I had 4 bounce backs last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
4?
I had 4.
Damn.
Yeah.
You were hammered.
No, I don't get drunk.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, Elof came back. She had a super long day. And she was like, let's like put the baby to bed. She got to bed a little bit early.
Yeah.
We're just like, let's just hang out.
Let's just have
like,
some bounce
We
backs.
built Club CC in the garage.
Yeah.
We just like hung out and just like chilled and chatted and talked about life, what we hope to do, where we're at. She kind of asked about like what's happening with Purple Banter, even though she knows all about it. She loves it. But that product in particular is one. It's perfect for the market. It's delicious. It's all these things, but it also, for the time period, is just dead.
Yeah, that was probably the worst breakup I had in like that was worse than my breakup that I went through with the guy I lived with.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in and worked in the alcohol space for so long too. So to be able to have your hands in something like that and have it be such an organic product with the show that we built from the ground up, that we were on, that was so much of our life for so long, like that sucked.
Yeah. And that's to say like Timmy's inside right now.
Yeah.
He's the face of Bounce Back. And Bounce Back really came down to the financials of it.
Totally.
Like the beer industry is such a heavy lift. We were relying solely on him for that financial lift. And he was just like, guys, I can't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you can't even get mad with it. It was just the actual reality.
It was just like we made such strides in such a short period of time, and it was such a fun brand too.
Yeah.
Like look, I'm looking at Bounce Back on the wall of Barney's right now.
And we were ready to go from like 11 spaces that we were into like 25 in the next month. So the scale was Scale up was fine. It's the cost
You
of
just
scale.
need cost of scale, and you need a full-time team, and that's what's hard about the alcohol sale. I think the other aspect of it too is like because it was so organic and easy to flow into for us initially, it makes you think, oh, I can be approachable.
There is a dump truck just dumping right now, and that is
at
why.
the Soho House. It made the alcohol market seem approachable in a way that it hasn't been in the past. And like, I would love to be a part of the alcohol market again in some capacity somewhere.
Yeah. The alcohol business is weird to me. I always say I don't even want to be in it because
it's hard.
It's exhausting.
It's fucking exhausting.
But a person like Timmy actually has the ability to transcend that space.
Yeah.
Very, very uniquely.
Well, you look at like Happy Dad and you look at Sammy and John. Sammy, who is the CEO, he really heads up Happy Dad, and he's taken on that role away from all the other projects and things that they do. If you watch his Instagram, and I'm sure it's like 5 times the amount than what he posts on Instagram, he's on a plane every other day.
Sammy is?
Yeah, to a market to check up on what's happening or to check in with the sales
So John
team.
is like the head of it, but Sammy's the grinder.
No, Sammy is the CEO
Oh, okay.
of Happy Dad. Yeah. Like, I think John's the CEO of like Shots or whatever their
The whole
company
umbrella
is.
company. Yeah, yeah.
But Sammy is the CEO of Happy Dad.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's like his project.
And that's where as good as we've done with cultivating community, we still have lacked in cultivating our ability to find individuals to work with us.
Right. Yes.
And so, you know, we do find ourselves in a spot where it's like, oh, it's back to myself and Katia again.
Right. Right.
And it's like we have to recheck in with each other and be like, are we still in this? Like, is this?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm always saying, I am in this forever.
Yeah.
Like I would go, let's say if everything failed, I would get a marketing job.
And do this on the side.
I would get fired once every 3 to 2 to 3 years, depending on how I could fly.
Sure.
And I would continue to do this.
Yeah.
Like I'm forever in this. And because I just appreciate where words matter more than anything. I think culture needs more people with like empathy and
I can't. What's funny when I say I'm like, oh, I can't handle failure because like all we do is fail, and all I've done throughout my career is fail. But when it's like this deeply invested, I can't. No.
Yeah. I guess one of my tombstone things I hope would read, "He failed more than you tried."
Like that.
And,
like that.
But there is.
I might take that. I like that.
But there is times even in failure. This is where it hurts the most. Is I go, but did I try enough to make sure that didn't fail?
Right.
And the more I check in with myself on it, I usually get back to, well, yeah, like you gave it a run. But it still failed. And in theory, it should have worked.
There's just so much trash in Soho House.
Yeah, Soho House should actually be audited with all of the green people up there saying that garbage is ruining the world.
Yeah.
You got a lot of trash.
And now we've got
Oh, they're putting another bucket in.
Oh, okay, that's good. This whipped shots thing with Cardi B. That's on the side of this R&D side. Oh, it's on the other side. Fun fact: last Pride, she shot it into my mouth, and I was on her Instagram.
Cardi B did?
Yeah.
You were on her Insta?
I was on her Instagram.
On her stories?
Yeah.
Sick.
It was awesome. I was in like a full purple silk dress, and I'm like this. She's like pouring
Chaos.
whipped cream down my throat.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
So, to think about where we go from here, what would be, like, in your career right now, what are, like, the top 3 things that you feel like failures that you're still hanging on to?
That I'm still hanging on to. I think Bounce Back Beer is up there for sure. That one hurt. I can answer this really quickly. Bounce Back Beer is up there. Jesus Christ, fucking Soho.
They're on the 5th thing.
Like, why is there so much trash in Soho House? Okay, Bounce Back Beer, we've already discussed. I would put Pro Trending up there because it's another one of those companies that you're like, oh my God, I fucking see this.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. And there's so much opportunity. And to talk about like, did I try hard enough? I know I tried hard enough, but when you have other individuals, especially on the monetary side, that go a different direction and squander what you're trying so hard for, it's like really, really fucking heartbreaking. And you know that from Juice Spot. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
that's a whole other thing. And then
I think that's one of the reasons I'm willing to let go sooner, because I'd experienced hanging on like 2 years too long.
that's how long you guys were too long. 2 years.
Yeah, but we also had a few hang-ons that turned into another 2 years. So I kept on getting to the spot, and we all did, myself, Kamal, and Eric, where we survived a few like 6-month deaths that then turned into another 2-year holds.
Which you can probably see are hold-ons within Purple Banter within the last year too.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of those.
Yeah, 100%.
We've definitely had
because
a
we've
few.
died like 3 times.
We've died 3 times. Like we have risen from the ashes. Holy shit.
And we're currently in like another death stage.
We're in another death stage, 100%.
Yeah, we're just like totally in the crosshairs of like
And now we've
a
got
very
Trash at Barney's,
gray
by the way.
Huh?
We got Trash at Barney's.
That's only one bin though.
Yeah.
See, if Barney's has less trash,
Then Soho, yeah.
like Soho had 5 bins.
And last night was Thursday. That's a big day at Barney's, right? Well, not as big as Wednesday, but
Okay, so Tunnel Talk.
okay, yeah, Pro Trending / Tunnel Talk. And then I had worked on creating this unscripted sports show that I'm not going to talk about because I know someone will take it because it's not the most original idea, but I built out like a full 2 seasons. We were going to go into, I actually had found a production partner that was like, we love this and we're going to front the pilot episode costs. Like, let's get after it, blah, blah, blah. COVID. It's travel and sports related. The cool thing about every single one of these losses that I need to like continue to remind myself is something within Purple Banter can likely fulfill one of those losses somewhere throughout the time period of this company. I think like even just the conversations that we had this morning or in other show areas, other opportunities, I think those can all come to fruition. Whether the show was a little bit different because I was hosting it and I don't need to host that show anymore. Like I want to be part of it. Like I've taken myself out of that, even though I fought for it for a long time. Case in the point that like whenever I would go and pitch it to a network, they'd be like, okay, great. Like, what celebrity do we get attached to this? And I'm like, you don't understand the point of the show if you automatically think that a celebrity should host this show.
Yeah.
Because they're not. We've seen what happens when a celebrity is paid to be somewhere. And it is literally like clocking in or clocking out to any type of 9-to-5 job. Or like, it is truly like, read my lines, deliver my lines. I know what I'm good at. See you the fuck later. And what I had envisioned for this project was so much deeper than that and so much more involved and passionate. And like, that's why shows similar have not worked in the past and why shows such as Bourdain, who was like, has always been like a huge inspiration to me overall in everything. Why he's still, he's been dead 5 years and he's still just synonymous with the best in entertainment and the best in people.
Well, that's the biggest thing that happens where you do find a lot of celebrities or just people that desire to be celebrities and impactful or whatever you'd call it, popular. They don't take ownership in it and they expect everybody else to make it a thing. And then they wonder why it didn't work.
Yeah.
And
because you don't care.
The people that win are like, the Alex Coopers of Call Her Daddy. That's her baby.
That's her everything.
She runs it. I'm sure she probably still edits a little bit of it, but she definitely edited it all for a long time.
Yeah.
It's the Joe Rogans, who's like continue to be that thing. It's the Anthony Bourdains. It's the Fury guy who does the dives in, drives in diners.
Oh, is
right?
he super hands-on on that? I don't know.
You can just tell, like,
yeah, he's in it.
You can just tell, like, it's just like he's in it.
He's probably location scouting, like,
I feel like if they threw away that his production company left, he'd probably be doing it on an iPhone.
For sure.
Like, it feels that way. It could be.
I think Andrew Zimmern from Minnesota.
100%.
I think he's fully in it, and you feel it. You see it. You see the difference.
At what time in your career did you think was like the biggest shift where you felt like you started to find yourself in like what you wanted to be?
Oh God,
was there a precipice moment that was very definable?
I don't know, because there's a couple answers to this, because I think a lot of my career, if you look back, you're like, it kind of doesn't make sense, but there is a through line and through situation. I think that there was a level of fear for a second of when I was in college being like, okay, I'm just going to do marketing because marketing felt safe to me for some reason.
Sure. Market at Target. And
no, I never even want to do that. It was more, I was always in the sports realm. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll like go run the marketing department. Like
at the Gophers or something.
Yeah, that'll be like my end all be all. It's like, I work for the Timberwolves and I run the marketing department, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I did that job and it sucked. Well, I was intern in that, and I looked at my bosses and I was like, I don't want to do what you do. Like,
what's unappealing about it?
At the time I was there, and I think they have done a better job in sports overall, it's not creative at all. It's really like mundane tasks, and it's long nights, it's shitty pay, it's just sports, and I know this for a fact that the sports industry still does this, and I think it needs to be changed because there's a lot of really hardworking, dedicated individuals who work in that industry, but the industry will pay them as like, this is a privilege for you. Like, you get to work in sports, so we're going to pay you below what your peers are being made are making at like a tech company or any other industry.
Because it's fun.
But
the job's the same.
In a sense, yeah. The job's like the same, but you get to get 2 tickets and a hot dog to every fucking game.
Yeah.
So there's your payment.
But you're working
You're working all the time.
So it takes away the fun of the game, of the thing you loved.
100%. So I think that fear was like eliminated for me in a sense when my dad died, because it was like, dude, like, you're 24 and you realize very quickly that like life is short, so let me like do what I want to do, and there's a little bit of just like, I don't care. Fuck
What's up?
you,
You can come up here.
Come on up.
No, you're good.
No, talk.
You're good.
You're good. And then along with that factor, I think when I first moved up to LA and I was trying to I was working freelance as a sports reporter, getting into writing, getting into editing, or getting into producing, I didn't identify, and nobody identified for me because I was just doing everything by myself, that I had a deep, deep depression that I had to deal with. And I got out of it, thank God, but it was all because of myself. It wasn't, and it took too long. It was like, again, like a 2-3 year period that was way too long. And then once I was able to kind of like identify that and clear it out for myself personally, that's when things started to like click a little bit better in my career and like understand the through line, if you will.
Okay. So that was just a point in time where you're like, I'm willing to sacrifice for what I desire.
Right. 100%. Which I thought I knew what that was, and I was kind of like stubborn in a sense on what that was, but I was also like, I was incapable at that time period to have probably done anything else than like work all day trying to do this career in sports media and then bartend all night.
Yeah.
Like 12-hour days to me, or like 12, 14, whatever hour days, that's nothing to me. Like, that's normal to me. I've never had like a PTO.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's wild when people are like, my PTO. I'm like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
I pay for everything.
Yeah, there's no days off, really.
No.
Even though we have to figure out how to do that the right way. And sometimes we just can't. What's the most annoying part about working with me?
You've gotten better, but your texting was shitty for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've gotten better.
Yeah, my texting was shitty. Yeah, I feel like you're the only person I'm accountable to.
Yeah.
So I'll
You respond to me.
If you text me, I'll text back.
But like it's funny when hosts will get like annoyed that like they like want to hear from you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing to say.
Yeah. They just like want like the thumbs up and you're like, he's here.
I'm on
It's
the text
fine.
chain. I read everything. I don't I have no
But that's what's funny. Like
I have no desire in not knowing. Like I like to always know.
That's a funny look into like people's psychosis where it's like at the end of the day, and that's also comes back to storytelling and having voices. Like everybody wants to be seen in a way where you're like, LJ's reading this, he's fine, but like you need him to like this. Like just throw the thumbs up. Like that's what
Should
you
I
need.
do thumbs up more?
Maybe you should just thumbs up more.
Or like more like the explanation points. Yeah.
Just the reaction.
But there's so many times that most of the texts are, okay, these are the timestamps, get them to Evan. And we're in this flow process where you just happen to do that. It's not that I could definitely do that, but it's like you're just like quicker and you're doing all that stuff. And then we're supposed to be here, so should we go there? Where are we going? Blah, blah, blah. Or they're really not, most people are not asking us for anything. They're just like telling us something.
They're just telling. But like they want to be seen. That's what's funny.
Yeah, I do need to get better.
They just want to be like, meh.
Yeah, I could do better.
It's weird. But I think in the last few months, and maybe I'm just getting better at getting dumped. I'm just like disconnecting from the shows or from text message or like, I mean, we've really like the last month, I feel like set boundaries.
Yeah.
There hasn't been many boundaries.
Yeah.
Up to this point.
Well, and a lot of the times I feel like when a text is coming through, I'm very well aware that the person who's sending it desires an answer immediately.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Immediately. And that's what our culture has done too.
And I'm just like, well, the thing that you just text doesn't need an answer right now.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Right.
Now, if it's like a thing that really does, like, hey, if it's like, hey, we're supposed to meet here and meet there and meet there, it's like, boom. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If it's not that, I'm like, I don't know. And then when you're working for free all the time, that really makes me text less.
Yeah. 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 I think we're in a good like boundary place though. Like I feel a lot better where like, okay, now we can hold people to an accountability sense that we're professional, but also like we also have to live our lives a little bit too. Like,
yeah. Because I guess what I found is that when you are always on for somebody, they will expect you to always be on for them.
Yep.
And then they'll start to ask you to do things that are outside the spectrum of it.
And we've gotten caught up
almost
in that
things you can Google
lot.
Sometimes. They're like, They treat you as Google.
Yes.
And I've gone down the line of like, well, I want this person to rely on me.
Yeah.
In a weird egotistical sense. And then I've never been rewarded for that behavior. I feel like I've only ever been like taken advantage of within that behavior track.
Yeah.
Where it's like, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. And if you continue to like answer my text back every single second of every single day, then you will be rewarded.
Yeah.
In some weird way. And it's proven way too many times that's not how it really works.
No.
So I don't know. It's
I'm getting that. I'm understanding
weird.
that. Yeah.
But we still have to, we're still accountable. And we're never late.
No.
We always show up on time. We get our things done.
There's shit done.
In as much of a timely manner as we possibly can. But it is weird when we live in a world that we have to set our own boundaries and pace.
Right.
And I think that we've worked with a lot of people that have really good job of setting us at a high pace. And I hope to put over the next 37 days, I hope to set a pace for our own company
Sure.
in a way that we've had a pace.
What does
for
this
others.
look like in 37 days to you?
Well, one, it's having conversations with people that I've either had before or haven't been able to really have in this perspective, and be able to learn from people around me and get things on camera with individuals that I care about.
Sure.
And to have that time capsule.
And that tone. Yeah, we're
yeah,
setting
and
the tone.
then to be able to hopefully kind of find a through line of what I kind of hope, at least a podcast that like I'm in a sense anchoring what through line voice actually works within Purple Banter's perspective.
See like what
in it.
Okay.
And what works, what doesn't. And then it's a huge test of pace for me.
Sure. Because this is like a heavy load.
Yeah. But it shouldn't. It's in a sense just it's very on call for a period of time. I kind of look at it. I tried to do what was it? The like hard
70.
Hard 70.
Yeah.
And
you
that's
the
for
whole
your,
thing.
No, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I'm like I don't want to
like goals. You like challenges.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
yeah.
And in
like
that
turn
hard,
life into
there
a
was
game
an
of
element
it.
of that hard 70 that turns into what this is. Because
Okay.
I go, I like 7, so 70 works. 70 is too many.
7.
And because of the time frame. So I'm like, what number works within the time frame? I was thinking like 30 days. But I'm like, oh, I like 37 better.
I like 37.
And so 7s and 3s
Yep.
are all I care about. They're God's numbers. They're weird earthly balancing numbers and all these things. So I go to reset my like hard 70 or whatever.
Okay.
I want to do this within our business.
Okay.
And
like
that's,
that.
I guess, what it means to me. And hopefully finding voice through it, finding great conversations. I think there's an element of, there's a lot of people that I'm interested in talking with and bringing onto our own shows. And in order to do that effectively, I think we have to prove the inviting nature that we have within the conversations that we have off camera all the time.
Yeah.
And I felt very constrained within a lot of our own time slots. Because it's like, okay, we want to do a show. And at the end of the day, there's been so much of the time that I've just like pressed play and just gone, okay, I'm just going to like talk. And I still am kind of doing this today. But like there is an element of entertainment that we lack in some of our shows.
Sure, yeah.
It's just like, because we're fucking exhausted. We're like, turn it on. We know how to do this. Look good, sound good, blah,
Q1
blah, blah.
for us, like we were filming we were so busy Q1. And that's what also is kind of funny that we're like sitting around here like kind of at a death stage. And it's been, that's the other aspect of like, sometimes it's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And like, you want to be in the middle. Like we don't ever want to be, I personally don't want to be super high or super low
of
ever.
Course not.
Like this is the goal.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that that's our next goal, is that we're going to get to this like more even keeled, tiny little bump situations.
Yeah.
Versus the massive highs and lows that we've been.
Yeah. And that's where I hope that like our through line becomes more of our own thing than always relying on everything else.
Right. Exactly.
And that's where we just
because
get caught
that's where
in
the
it.
highs and lows come
Yes.
from. Right.
Because it just starts and stops and starts. We literally have nearly 100 episodes that have not like come out.
Do we really?
Probably. Yes. Between episodes.
Smart and wild.
Episodes that have misfired, things that we've started, that we've launched, that we've cut.
We've got a really good one that I would love to release that we've been told we can't, but we could.
Yeah. Definitely from my perspective, nearly 100.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I know for sure there's 25 Smart and Wilds that we never released based on content.
Sure.
Cancelable.
Like
horrific,
cannot ever
not appropriate.
see the light of day.
No,
situations.
vaulted, deleted.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay, they're gone.
I'm just like, dude,
Yeah. Like this can't be on a cloud.
Yeah, and also I want to like redirect my path of the why. I even see like myself on some podcasts, I'm like swearing too much in these weird spots. I'm like, I love the comedic content. That'll always be a main vein of it. But I want to figure out how to do it like the right way.
Okay. In 37 days, if you have a magic ball, and we're watching this back, where do you think Purple Banter will be?
So
I don't even know. I'm laughing. This is, yeah.
So 10,000 on Instagram, 10,000 followers, which it's always stupid to have to live in this spectrum, but we live in the world of numbers.
I know.
And these little precipice spaces allow us to be able to attract more
legitimacy,
sponsors
as
and partnerships and
yeah.
all these different things. I want to generate over 100,000 views on our Instagram account within that 37 days.
Okay.
So each episode's going to have 3 reels.
Sure.
So each reel basically has to hit, am I doing my math wrong, around like 900 views each reel.
Oh, that's it?
Something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Because it's 37. So it's, let me feel.
So yeah, like.
Let me do the math quick.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It might be 2,000. Help me out here, folks. So we got 37 episodes. We have 3 reels per episode. That's 111. So I want 100,000 views on that. Yeah, so that's 900. So there's 111 reels that are going to come out in 37 days because that's 3 reels an episode.
Okay.
And that's 900 views a reel.
That's not bad.
Which is easy.
That's really easy.
And I want one of those reels to go over 100,000.
Okay, like
So-
just one.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
in all of that. The real goal is just the baseline 900 each.
Okay.
But I want one to pop
Yeah.
a little bit. That's fine. 100,000 even like isn't popping.
No.
But it's like something. And the most important part of it all is that I want to draw in a community that I think can be our core audience.
Okay.
And so it's, fostering community from our community. So it's finding individuals that are interesting, sharing their stories, talking about our friendship, to hopefully like some of their friends and family go, oh, you actually had a great episode at Banter for the People. I'll follow their stuff.
Okay.
Um,
So then basically June 1st,
Yeah.
like moving on, then what is on the precipice for Purple Banter in your mind of where you think we'll be at
So,
in a month? Or June 1st.
I hope that by June 1st, we have like one group that we can partner with specifically like Vikings Banter.
What do you mean?
A sponsor.
Oh, a sponsor. Okay.
Like one sponsor for that show that like is starting to like want to work with us in a variety of ways.
Sure.
Because it kind of starts with one. We've worked with a lot of sponsors before, but we haven't found like our right partner because we just haven't cultivated the views yet to be able to generate that.
Not only the views, but what I'm hoping in a sponsor partner is I really hope that we find a group, maybe like even similar to us, that's like small on the upcome, that we can work together long term. I'm really sick of these 0 personality baked in ad situations, cut and dry number things. It's like, that's fine. Like, appreciate the money, no question on that. But
Yeah.
it just feels really boring to me. And like, I want to work with partners that we can have some fun with.
Yeah.
And we see their personality and they see ours.
Yeah. And I guess at the end of the last 37 days, I hope to also I want to sell $1,000 worth of merch
Fuck yeah.
within 37 days.
Okay. Shit, we got to work on those signs.
Yeah, but we have some merch.
Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
good.
So like,
It's
I'm
fine.
gonna like basically hold people's like feet to the fire, being like, hey, my birthday present's like
A merch.
I'm trying to like sell $1,000 of merch in a month.
Yeah.
Not a crazy goal.
Really not a crazy goal.
But it's a goal that we haven't surpassed.
But now let's think about it too. Like, now, good checklist. We got to get our shop on Instagram. We're going to, next week, everything's going to get so cleaned up. I'm excited.
Well, we do have a shop. It's at purplebanter.com. Don't look at the website, but go to the page and buy a thing.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's horrific, but I know it is what it is.
It's fine.
Yeah, we're getting to it.
Does
We're
anyone
working
have a
it.
good website?
I don't go to websites. I go to merch sites.
Okay.
But I've never, like, for example, I've watched 100,000 hours of Joe Rogan.
Okay. Damn.
Because that would be 1,000 episodes. Not 100,000, but I've never been to his. I don't even know if he has a website. I guarantee he does. JoeRogan.com.
Let's see what it is. I'm actually so curious.
Right? I've been to Theo Von's website.
His is good.
Yeah.
But he also like JoeRogan.com. People
he sells
also,
merch though. Like he has dope.
He's
merch.
like a super merch guy. Stand-up comic, mixed martial artist, fanatic, psychedelic adventurer, host of the Joe Rogan Experience.
I've been to Call Her Daddy. Great website.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Okay. Specials. It's pretty.
Was it like beautiful?
No, it's like, I mean, I love the type or the fonts because it's him and also.
But it's not
the
overdone.
Writer. Oh.
Let's say that you had a podcast that was generating like $100 million a year.
Yeah.
Do you not think that you would probably invest more money than he has in that website?
You would think.
But you don't need to.
That's
kind of the point, right?
That's funny. I'm looking at his merch right now too. I've never seen his stuff.
He's such an enigma.
I wouldn't wear this stuff.
Yeah.
And all I wear is athleisure
I've never
merch.
heard him ever once say
Plug
go to
his
my
merch.
website
Yeah.
and get my merch.
Yeah.
We're
No.
Theo, like you're gonna hear that all the time.
Yeah, but he's got like cool designs.
Yeah,
like,
and I appreciate what Theo does more in that vein.
Yeah.
Because I do want I want to be able to build a brand that people want to like wear and
with.
feel like attracted to, and that they are like feeling a part of the community.
Yeah, I mean, has Joe's logo ever changed? Which I can appreciate
No.
if it hasn't. Yeah, but it feels dated. It's fine.
Well, what's funny about
Like-
his logo, I heard him talk about it once. He actually intentionally keeps it the way that it is because it detracts from people going to it
Okay.
if they don't like it. And so, and he's like, if this detracts from you listening to me, I don't need you listening.
Yeah, I don't like his logo, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like his logo. It's not that I don't like it. It feels like if I were to critique it, I'd be like, oh, it's dated. Like,
and
whatever.
in a weird way for me, there was a time that I wasn't listening to Joe Rogan, and I always looked at it like his logo doesn't seem like a show I would like. Because it has like
his
weird eye in the middle.
Yeah.
And his show's not really that logo at all.
He was probably like high.
It's very misbranded.
And like fucking around and be like, I don't know, throw it on, whatever.
Yeah. There's some kid in LA that's like, I made the logo.
Yeah.
Probably Red Band made the logo.
Yeah.
Just his first producer.
But,
But I think this is what it is. This is 37 podcasts in 37 days. We're changing the pace of things. We're going to have a little bit of fun, interview a bunch of different people. Katia's going to jump on a few of them. And we're just going to see where we go.
yeah.
Our merch site is up right now.
Yeah.
We are trying to sell some of these t-shirts. If you're like, hey, this is what we actually want to see from y'all. You hate it, you like it, blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
Tell us in the comments. If you see your friend on a show, share it for them.
Yeah.
Like,
Hit the
let their
subscribe, hit
voice
the
be
like.
seen a little bit, seen and heard. We need that. And that's kind of where we're going from there. But this is episode 1 of the next 37 days. So
Fun.
let it roll.
Let's go.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war.